And hello, and welcome back to Final Fantasy 14. Continuing on Sorin's journey. Sorry I'm a bit late. Suffice it to say that social anxiety is not a fun thing to deal with. But we're back in Final Fantasy 14 for continuing Endwalker. Last we'd left off, all the preparations had been made for, well, the various forces of Eorzea and the Far East have joined together to form the Illsabard Contingent, which is now ready to set off to take the fight to Garlemald. Shift off that. I've been AFKing for a while because I set up earlier than usual. And then things started happening around the house that kept me distracted. I believe our destination is just down here. Not sure how long the stream will go on today. As I mentioned, or implied, my social anxiety is playing up a bit today, and I might run out of energy a bit sooner than normal. But for now, I still intend to go on for normal length. I'm just aware that I might run out of energy quicker than usual. Hello, Mooney. Welcome to the stream. It's an honor to finally meet you. We have the Garlemald. Oh no. Well, yeah, even if I had read this book. We have the Garlemald Ironworks. We'll be ferrying you and your contingent across the mountains and into Garlemald. For many of us, it'll be something of a homecoming. Our illustrious founder was only our most notable Imperial defector. For that reason, the company is committed to the success of this expedition. Our resources are at your disposal, and if there is aught we might do to be of further assistance, please don't hesitate to ask. If you're ready to depart, I will ready the engines. Several cutscenes in sequence. Begin. Yep, ready to finally head to Garlemald. Three great continents.
Illsabard, divided in twain by a vast mountain range. Those who would traverse its jagged peaks face peril at every step. But why go by foot when one can simply fly?
Why indeed.
On the outskirts of the Imperial capital, in the frozen wastes of the Magna Glacius, the winds howl in icy protest, as if to warn against further trespass.
We've received word from Thancred's reconnaissance party. They have sighted a detachment of heavily armed Imperials.
Madeline over here shivering when he comes. Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, do you see a Madeline as one to like sit out in the snow, or do you imagine him, you know, at all the nicely warmed noble parties?
Survivors of the Civil War, perhaps.
Perhaps, but there is more to it than that. Maxima reports that they are led by Virgilia, legatus of the 3rd Legion, which comprises the bulk of their number. However, they are also joined by several members of the 1st.
From what I recall, The 3rd Legion fought for Nerva in the War of Succession following Varus's death. The 1st, on the other hand, were under the direct command of the Emperor and rejected Nerva's claim to the throne. These legions were enemies.
Indeed. In fact, our sources claim that it was a conflict between them that sparked the Civil War. Yet now, these former foes cooperate to defend a ruined Garlemald from invasion.
So, that means they've been tempered.
Then it is all but certain they have been tempered.
Right.
So, what's the plan? If me and my crew is out reaving, we charge straight in, no messing about. But that ain't what we're here for.
Quite right. Soldiers or no, they are people of Garlemald, the very ones we have come to aid. Direct confrontation is unavoidable. Nevertheless, we must make every effort to limit casualties on both sides. Rather than kill them, I would remove them from the field.
How so? Savage beatings, disarmament, and imprisonment?
Aaron's still there in his shorts.
Not impossible, but easier said than done in the heat of battle.
Having observed the opposition, I imagine Thancred had something to suggest?
He did. He and the other scouts have already infiltrated a supply depot some distance beyond the Imperial detachment's current position. Stored within is a stockpile of Magitech armaments, and once we give the signal, Thancred's team will destroy them all. In so doing, we will deprive frontline troops of materiel, and likely force the detachment to send men to investigate.
Fight their forces.
Divide and conquer. Not a bad idea.
Once the scouts have finished their preparations, we will split into 2 groups. The first will form the vanguard, while the other brings up the rear with our supplies.
Oh, yep. Gotta get your schedule set up as well, Minnie. Don't worry, it's not like I only remembered about about an hour before my stream started. Well, was supposed to start.
As for the Scions, I ask that you lend your assistance where you deem it needed most.
Right.
I would prefer, however, that you accompany the rearguard and be prepared to join the van at a moment's notice. Kept in reserve as our trump card, so to speak.
If you believe that's best. Don't know if I have much of a mind for tactics like this. Meanwhile, at the supply depot. I want Thancred's Garlemald armor.
Your proposal was well received. More specifically, they asked that we destroy the Imperial's toys in as spectacular a fashion as possible.
Pistola always did have a flair for the dramatic. She's not an easy woman to please, but I shall do my best to satisfy her thirst for fireworks. All right. Once more for my peace of mind. Our first objective will be to rig the enemy's Magitech with explosives. After we've withdrawn to a safe distance, we'll detonate them remotely. Our second will be to issue a deactivation command to the automated units via the control terminal. If our calculations are correct, this signal should reach those deployed on the front line, giving our friends a much-needed upper hand. The blizzard will help us stay hidden, so let's aim to get in and out before it passes. Trust in the plan, and we should all live to see tomorrow.
In the meantime, I will relay messages back and forth as the situation unfolds. You'll forgive me if I ask again, but are you certain you wish to play the Lone Wolf?
Is Thancred certain he wants to play the Lone Wolf?
Wouldn't have it any other way. Call it foolish and reckless if you like, but I'll get the job done. I always do.
Very well. I wish you the best of luck.
is like kind of the stealth section, isn't it? So we've got sushi bowl for lunch. It sounds nice. So basic attack combo, mitigation, stealth. Assassination. And neutralizes guard. This is Frank. Oh. Good old memes. Assuming there is nothing else you wish to confirm, you may commence the mission as soon as you are ready. I think I'm ready.
Keep your wits about you.
It's time. We only have one shot at this, so let's make it count.
Ooh. There we go. Oh, I have to say explosives. Will they detect, like, unconscious Imperials? Like, how involved is the stealth of this? I forget. On first bomb. That is a lot of explosives. Yeah, that's it. I suppose. Y'shtola asked for fireworks. Deactivate the lasers. There we go. I'll go this way. The doggos need the bomb. Slasher being where it is. Quickly. Oh. There's more of this, isn't there?
This is Thancred. The explosives are in place.
Very good. All is proceeding as planned. Head to the control terminal. It should be to the northwest.
Understood. Have the others wait at the rendezvous point.
Alrighty, just need to wait for that magic slasher to move. Oh. These will be. Okay, this is. There's a lot going on here. There's the line, yep. Ooh. That Magitek Slasher was moving very quickly, but not going all the way here. Oh. There's a lot of Imperials there. The only way to deal with Magitek is to actually fight it, isn't it? What's the... I wish I could better know line of sight for the Imperials. That works. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have moved here.
Damn, spotted.
I can deal with one enemy, right? It's true for this. That's probably actually helpful. Make it too easy. Okay. Yeah, actually having one less slasher to deal with is probably a good thing. There's the other doggo down. Now I just need to wait for that magic slasher to move to the next point. There we go. Bonk. There's control terminal, but it's got vanguards all around it. I don't like that. Oh, oh, that disables the matchstick. Hello, friend. Yeah, we got only gotten one fight. I feel that's a success.
You are returned, and none the worse for wear, to my considerable relief.
What news from our comrades?
They stand at the ready.
Excellent. Then let the fireworks begin.
No Magitech for you. A few moments later, at the rear of the Illsabard Contingent supply caravan. Doesn't seem to be any trouble so far.
The blizzard's beginning to clear. The Vanguard should be engaging the Imperials any moment now, if they haven't already. Ishtola and the others are with them, so I'm sure they'll be all right, but... Wait! Something
something. No, that's not good.
Oi, oi! Looks like we ain't the only ones who sent out scouts. Keep them away from the carriages! We lose those, and we're as good as dead!
Here we go.
Fighters! Protect the others!
Let's deal with this as quickly as possible. Can't stay still for too long. Everyone. There's... No one seemed to be interested in stopping. Looks like that side.
A brief respite, but stay alert.
Should we... I suppose we need to focus on our caravan.
Keep the carriages safe.
Did you use a sage skill, Aaron? Right. I'll move up. Oh no, Alphino is he. Alphino, why are you...
What impeccable timing! Fear not, friends! The savior of Illsabard is here!
So just fight my way to the front.
A fine display, but the other carriages are still in danger.
Right.
Go on ahead.
I get to it.
We'll hold the line.
We're the only ones still struggling.
You never seem to be in good condition.
Oh, we put our backs into it then. I've been itching for a good scrap.
I'm disappointed you are volcano sorcerer system over there. So, yeah, no, anything called volcano sauce is definitely something I'd be staying away from. That's a extra room. Sauces. I need to know what your definition of weak is before I could really comment on it, maybe.
You lot alright back there?
So, spice tolerance seems to definitely be a very subjective thing.
We're fine. I'm ready for more.
Right.
Hear that?
Pressing on.
Get to the front and turn the tide.
Right. I'm trying to think of like if there's any like. I know Mabo Tofu is definitely too spicy for me. Most of the curries I get are just called curry. Oh, they just advertise as curry.
Removed from the field was not a euphemism for enthusiastically murder.
It's nothing that won't heal in time. The trouble is, their tempering has made them utterly fearless. Subduing them would be easier if they had the capacity to submit in the first place.
Well, this is the path our young charges would have us walk, and that we all agreed to follow. You knew it would be hard, yet still you pledged your lance, did you not?
That I did.
Ooh. Mac I have against the Legatus.
That's for Gilia. Damn it. I need to help the others take her down.
There's no end to them!
I'm here to help.
I was wondering when you'd turn up.
What's the situation? Or do I just get right to it?
There's no stopping us now. Come on. Let's
Yeah, they
show
have
them
some
what
cool-
we're made of.
A lot of Imperials have cool armor that we're never allowed to get. They also have some really cool weapons. Right.
We have them now! Forward!
Launch attack first. That's a lot of them.
Let them have it!
Yeah, it's still something I find that, I know at the London Fan Fest, Pippin? They were talking about, like, kind of ideas for classes that had been kind of, proposed at meetings in Square Enix. But more like you finally have a chat. So, yeah, I've brought up several times, but they kind of, someone in Square Enix suggested a shield, like a shield only class, and I kind of think like we have like a shield only enemy in the game in Ridditon. I don't see why that wouldn't, why you couldn't have a shield only class.
Do not fall behind!
Oh, that's. I don't know if it quite works if they're tempered, but taking out the leader is generally a good thing, right? Yeah. I get spikes on the shields, and I mean, Ridditon has cannons in them as well. Paladin's kind of like a quasi-caster tank, so can we not get a quasi-ranged DPS tank? I need to get Skyrim. Yeah, like, she A shield is still like a heavy piece of metal. Let's try this again. We're all doing well. That's a lot of Magitech. Ooh.
Kneel or die!
Melcliff? Just a alligator skin. That's... More help. Sorry? Wait, this is... the same thing she tried doing to Nardam. Didn't let her do it last time.
Tremble before the sun!
Where should my focus be?
May your breeze fill the air!
Are you nearly done? 2... That definitely worked. She felt the need to supervise you when you took her suit. Of course, Mooney. Do you think you're trustworthy?
A worthy adversary. Rest, recover, reclaim yourself. Then we will fight again, to the death.
Sadu Hatun!
She's on her eyes right from.
That was the last of them.
No, Mooney, a child is trusting you with their own food.
The day is ours.
The most solemn
Thanks to your
duty.
timely arrival. What of the supply caravan?
We were attacked by some scouts, but we were able to fend them off.
Outmaneuvered, but not outmatched. Good. Let us take the Imperials into custody and rejoin our comrades. And soon we shall arrive at the capital. Must be what Thancred and Eorzea saw.
So cold and unforgiving. Thus spoke Emperor Solus as he gazed upon his barren domain. 800 years it had been since the Garleans first set foot here. Bested by the Kavosi after centuries of war and driven from fertile southern pastures into the blasted northern wastes. In that garden of desolation, they clung to one another for warmth, freezing, hungry, desperate, hated. The chosen forsaken. In the year 1513 of the 6th Astral Era, a young legatus named Solus single-handedly sparked the Magitech Revolution. How did he conceive the machina that feed on ceruleum? Once a common, soft-spoken soldier, how had he so quickly ascended through the ranks? Like so many others, those who knew the truth are gone. Taking in the capital with his eyes for the first time, I recall thinking to myself, far colder on the earth than in the heavens. Yes, far colder indeed. Bitterly so.
Darn. This is it.
Not so much as a whisper.
The roads leading beyond the city walls would have been used less in recent years. Nevertheless, this was one of the most important gateways into the capital.
A buzz day and night with activity, aye. Merchants passing through the checkpoint, many of them stopping at the local hostelries.
Surely they cannot all have been tempered.
We can consider the question after we have made camp. If we spend any longer outside, we may well freeze to death where we stand. The tempered Imperials, too.
Aaron talking about
This
freezing
will
to
be our
death.
temporary base of operations.
Like refusing to
Secure
put on
shelter for
trousers.
ourselves and the injured, and dispatch scouts to survey the surrounding area.
If we're planning on staying here a while, we ought to give this place a proper name.
Well, the constant sound of ice cracking underfoot makes me think of broken glass. An apt name, perhaps. But enough of this. To work, everyone!
This is Garlemald. Is this a Telephoroi? It's going to be helpful if I ever have to return rather than having to make that journey again. Stola? Are you okay? Sorry, I'm feeling rather unwell. I wonder if it's anything to do with... Even I can see whatever aura is coming off that thing. I'm trying to think what Stola can see. Graha? Everything okay your end? Our comrades certainly haven't wasted any time establishing a base of operations. I suppose it's needed. Alphino? Alice? Shouldn't be long before we have a half-decent camp with so many helping hands. I was concerned the snow might hinder our progress, but Irish Guardian friends are used to working in conditions like these. In spite of the obstacles we've faced, our plan proceeds apace. Just a little farther and we will reach the capital itself. Still, we mustn't get ahead of ourselves. As soon as the camp has been made fit for purpose, we are to discuss a course of action with Lucia. Would you mind asking Y'shtola and Gra to join us in that building to the northeast of the camp? Alize and I will meet you there. Right. I have to speak with Y'shtola first. I thought that was I could do it in any order. Y'shtola? How are you feeling? Alize and Alphino were wanting us to meet a building there in the northeast. A meeting. Yes. I'll make my way over once my head is cleared. In truth, I've been feeling out of sorts since we arrived. The air is thick with a palpable aura of malevolence. It is a monstrous tower on the horizon. Jagged, hideous, unholy. Even at this distance, its presence is overwhelming. Much like the sensation I felt in the Tower of Zot, only far more terrifying. Ether flows unceasingly towards it, converging into a swirling mass of unfathomable power. For a blessing, the constant chill in the air is helping to anchor my senses in the here and now. Tell the others I shall be with you in a few moments. There is something going on. Gra? You'll be pleased to know most of the Temperate have been quartered inside the nearby buildings. They're receiving treatment as we speak. I do, however, feel no small amount of guilt for commandeering civilian homes. The occupants may be long gone, but everything is exactly as they left it. Considering the length of time that has clearly passed since, one would expect to find them ransacked. Strangely, there are no signs of anything having been stolen. It's possible that everyone fled at the first sign of trouble, though it seems to me they left far too many useful possessions behind. Aye, although there is no conclusive evidence, I strongly suspect they were tempered. Excuse me? Sorry, I was merely thinking aloud. You mentioned a meeting. I'll make my way there. Guessing that's where I saw Lucy and the others gathering. No sign of the others yet. Thank you for informing the others of our meeting. When everyone is here, we will begin.
Our present situation is as follows. Efforts to aid the people of Garlemald have begun in earnest. Moreover, having entered into the capital, the Imperial Palace is within our reach.
But before we proceed further, we must learn what has befallen this city. For therein lies the key to understanding and combating the Telephoroi's designs.
I have a suggestion, if I may. Several of the Imperial soldiers we captured on the Magna Glaciers are members of the Populares and acquaintances of mine.
Right.
Once we have cured them of their tempering, they should be able to give a reliable account of the events leading to the capital's downfall.
It's definitely helpful if they'll be even somewhat friendly toward. Everybody's off, you can finally bite into that. That sounds like quite nice. I don't know if I'd say it's funny, but... Oh. Not being able to have apples without pain is not something I would like to imagine.
A promising idea. I will assist the healers and their ministrations. Of course, I will require a porksy of my own, assuming you can spare one.
Would you like a hand?
No, I am sure we will manage. Better that you take my place in the field. The noxious ether of this place disagrees with me, and as I shall need to draw on my own for the treatment, 'twill be prudent for me to remain within the camp.
This talk of curing the tempered is all well and good, but I reckon the cold is a more pressing concern. All the houses round here are fitted with ceruleum heaters that could keep us warm and toasty. Problem is the machines seem to have given up the ghost, and if we keep sitting around, freezing our asses off, we'll be next.
You can figure out what you eat before you get braces. Yeah. It is something I vaguely hope I never have I never have need for.
My smiths reckon that with the right parts, they can have them working again, but it won't be easy.
Understood. The machinists will assist them in the repairs.
The rest of us should either stand watch or survey the area.
We've made our presence known to the Telephoroi. They will be searching for us, if they have not already ascertained our position. That we have seen no sign of them since the battle suggests they have yet to do so. However, I suspect they may be biding their time.
Or perhaps we are beneath their notice.
In any event, we'll find no answers standing around here. Urianger, Estinian and myself have visited Garlemald recently, so we'll lead the reconnaissance efforts. Perhaps bolstered by a few Bosnian and Dalmatian scouts from my previous excursion for good measure.
Don't forget about us Alamegans. We have experienced scouts of our own.
Well now, this is turning out to be a rather sizable team. With such numbers, we should be able to cover a wide area with relative ease, including that surrounding the Imperial Palace. How about you, Graha? I have a feeling we'll find a use or two for that vanishing spell of yours.
'Twould be my honor to be of service, though I doubt that you of all people need rely on my tricks.
That leaves us with guard duty.
Well, it's still important.
As a matter of fact, I have something else in mind for the two of you and Alphino.
Oh. Right.
Between here and the center of the capital lies the Eblan Rhine. I would have you search the area for survivors. Your keen sense of direction, honed in your extensive travels, should prove useful in navigating the ice fields.
Right. Ice fields. I love ice fields. Oh, God. I like ice fields. If there's anyone out there, I'll find them.
I have faith that you will, and look forward to greeting you on your safe return. You all have your duties. Let us make haste. May the Fury bless and keep you.
You okay, Alphino? I've never thought myself much of an explorer, but I suppose my adventures have taken me to all sorts of strange and distant places. With that in mind, traversing an ice field should be a simple feat. It's like I said, I'm a great finder of things. It's almost as if we have a map. Gods be good. If it's this cold with Tatar's clothing, I dread to think how we'd fare without it. I must remember to thank her next we meet. It makes me realize, too, that while the people of Garlemald have spent their whole lives in conditions like these, even they'd be hard-pressed to survive away from the warmth of their homes. If there are any survivors, we must find them, and quickly. You okay there, Madeline? Oh, what old chums. Have been given something to do, have you? As it happens, I too have been ordered to make myself useful. Alice. Sorry, Dad, I forgot that Alice is just... Sounds like a rather tall order. Since you ask, where to scour the Eblan Rime for survivors? What? Wander around ice fields on the off chance you'll find someone? Oh, you'd take forever to finish the job without the benefit of my experience. Oh, the benefit of my expertise? Or more specifically, my telescope. Come, friends. I know just the spot to begin our search. I guess we'd take him up on that? I'll probably regret this, but we may as well humor him. Otherwise, well, like, Alize is the one who responds like that. But, thinking about it, Alize would really have only met Madeline, like, relatively recently, right? Because she wasn't there during Heavensward. So either Alize just kind of immediately picks up that Madeline doesn't seem particularly helpful, or Alphino has not been speaking well of him in retelling his stories. I spy with my little telescope a massive sheep thing, or maybe it's a cow. Not what we're after either way. Is that an ether current? Ah, no, just a wind sprite. Other than that, it's all snow, snow, snow. But lo, what do I see over yon hillock? There's no mistaking it. That's a girl. Someone out there? A survivor? Show me. Over there, behind that tree. It looks like she's running away from something. Oh, surely not us. She wouldn't even know we're here unless she had a telescope like mine. All I can tell is that she's wearing a pale green dress. Oh, a rather fetching one at that. We should head out there, right? Oh, she'll be long gone by the time we get anywhere near, but we should be able to follow her footprints. Right. I'll let Lucia know where you're heading. Oh, and take these warming tinctures with you. That poor girl must be chilled to the bone, if not on the verge of freezing to death. That's actually very thoughtful. Thank you. But won't you need some for yourself? Oh, no, I'll be fine. As a man of chivalry, my honor demands I do no less. And, lest we forget, the very reason we are here is to protect those in need. Now go, and Godspeed. Thank you, Madeline. Does Sorin have any other mounts that would be more suited to? I think the Gabriel Alpha is probably the best suited for the snow and the ice. These are only one pair, so not Alphino and Alizé. Let's keep following. Still going this way. Have we found anything? According to the label here, this place was used by those involved with extracting ceruleum. We're getting closer, I'm sure of it. At first we thought she'd gone inside the building, but the door doesn't look to have been opened in some time. She might still be nearby, so we'll keep looking around here. And again, it's also possible that she ran right past this place. Would you mind searching up ahead? Right. Don't see any more footprints. There's definitely life out there, but I don't see any people. Wait, is that? Is there someone there? For you to call out for her from this distance, it might attract wild beasts to your location. It would be safer to get closer first, but you must do so without drawing her attention. Right. Note, the objective will end in failure if you noticed. Oh, I remember failing this one the first time I tried it. Do I have to? Wildlife doesn't cause too many problems. Doesn't look particularly friendly. You remember failing this at least once? Yeah. There's one point where I feel like you're not... I feel I remember you're not supposed to go too far ahead. Because she kind of like... She moves a little... I think I remember her moving like a little bit, then turning around. So you kind of want to be hidden in nearly the same place, but that might be a similar segment in a different game. Might be behind this tree. Still, so far so good. All depending on her. Who's dead? She doesn't seem like she's tempered. Not the way she's talking. supposed to be hidden? This rock, maybe? This rock? That tree? This is... Is this where she's going? Just don't seem safe here, so just don't scare her. Phew, still in one piece. Excuse me. Who are you? Stay back! This house is packed with explosives. Take another step and I'll blow this place sky high. There's really no need for that. Please, we just want to talk. Alphino, Eorzea. I'm Alphino. This is my sister Eorzea and our good friend Sorin. We have no intention of hurting or taking anything from you or anyone else. I give you my word. We and our comrades have come to provide aid to the people of Garlemald. Aid? You savages are the ones responsible for all of this. You did this to us. We didn't, I promise you. One of the reasons we came was to find out what happened here, in fact. The Telephoroi are the ones to blame. They're the ones who laid waste to Garlemald, and they won't stop until they've destroyed the entire world. They're the enemy. Our enemy. On our way, we encountered Imperial soldiers who had been made their thralls. Those poor souls are now in our care, and we are striving to cure them of their affliction. You're the first person we've met who wasn't already enslaved. How were you able to escape the Telephoroi's influence? Are there any others like you? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to overwhelm you. Let's start with introductions. Can you tell me your name? My name's Licinia. As for how I've managed to stay sane, I've been asking myself the same question. Ever since that night. And the roar. That terrible roar. Then the screams. I was screaming too, I think. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Then came the silence. Everything was still. It was like waking up from a nightmare. I thought maybe the fighting had stopped, so I stepped outside. If your hells are real, I saw one that day. I ran past friends, the people I'd known all my life. Eyes vacant, dead, staring at the sky. Others were mad and violent. I saw them struggle with soldiers, but didn't stay to watch. I fled as far as my legs would take me. Do you have family here? Is this their home? No. This is Victor's Spoils. A mansion for retired soldiers. Or it was, but now me and a few others are borrowing it. As for the explosives, I was making that up. I just wanted to keep everyone else safe, and I didn't know if you were... The truth is, our supplies are running low. You said you're here to help. Can you? Of course. Whatever assistance we can provide, we will. Thank you. I'd better tell the others first, though. Wait here. So, some people did manage to escape the tempering. This is everyone. Licinia says you can be trusted, but these are desperate times. We'd be fools to let foreign troops into our home. Having said that, were you to provide us with means of heating this place as a sign of goodwill, perhaps we could take you at your word. If that is too much to ask, then leave us be. Time to put my firewood gathering skills to use. Could you provide the spark of a little magic, Alize? We'll have a fire burning in no time. Maybe build it under that gazebo. What? Oh, you mean the bower? Yes. Do as you will. You'd think it'd make more sense to... I know they don't model the inside of most buildings. You'd think it would make more sense to heat the inside of the house rather than trying to warm people up outside in the cold. I suppose it's only natural they wouldn't trust us, isn't it? Garlemald's been our enemy for a while, but that goes both ways, doesn't it? Licinia, was it? Sorry, I'm still finding it hard to come to terms with all that's happened. Now that you're here, though, I'm hoping things might change for the better. You know, I've worked up quite a sweat from all that running about, so I'll leave space around the fire for the others. As you can tell, they're in a far worse state than me. We were planning to look for somewhere warmer or with more food, but they're not going anywhere until we nurse them back to health, which I don't know how to do. Is there anything you can do to help them? I know a little bit of... I know healing magic, but... What is... that? Alphanu? I can treat their frostbite and their wounds, but it will take time for the fire to do its work. Now would be a good occasion to make use of Amanilin's tinctures. The ones that can warm the body from the inside out. Would you make sure that everyone gets one? Of course. Excuse me, sir. The numbness is beginning to subside. I suspect once the fire dies, it will return with a vengeance. It's not... Oh, bearing gifts from the notoriously unreliable Amanilin is highly doubtful this concoction will have the intended effect. Oh boy. If you're okay with it, sir, if you... try this. It should help. Warming tincture. Never heard of such a thing. No harm in trying. Tell me, have you heard aught of the city? Calling it that seems absurd after what's happened. It's nothing but ruins now. A few buildings still standing offer no more than meager protection from the wind and snow. Food production, water purification. The magitech that sustained us has come to a grinding halt. What machine that remains operational cannot be run for lack of cerulean. Of course, Cerulean Ingens is full of this stuff, for all the good it does us. No one here knows the first thing about extraction or refinement. I suppose for a civilization built on magitech, if it stops working, what do they do? Sir? All is well, yes, never better. I've got a drink for you. Should help warm me up. Oh, what sweet libation is this? Is it poison, by any chance? It was a joke. A joke. If I laugh, it is that I may not weep. So said the poet. And alas, my tears would freeze on my cheek ere they fell. We are the blessed damned, to bear witness to the fall of the great empire, while our brethren lie dead, or live on as puppets of flesh. First came the war, then came the roar. When morning came, Garlemald was no more. In a cacophony of gunfire, explosions, and screams was our beloved capital razed to the ground. From the rubble rose the dishevelled remnants, their lavish finery caked in ash as they shuffled mindlessly towards the palace, each bearing a fragment of stone or metal, an offering perhaps to the architect of our destruction. A hopeful few tried to reason with the deranged, only to be beaten for their kindness. But I knew better than to plead with the horde. I fled with my health, if not my conscience, preserved. Now I wait with my fellow cowards for our final judgment. What did happen here? Sir? What do you want? Just got a drink for you. Might help warm you up. A tincture. May as well drink it, I suppose. What is that, if you don't mind me asking? This? It's a radio. Don't have them where you come from, I take it. We use them to listen to messages sent by others, even over great distances. Like link pearls? There are different types, but this model is by far the most popular. Made of quality components crafted with the finest ore. Sourced from Locus Amoenus, it is. Not all that useful since the capital fell into ruin. The people at the broadcasting station must have either fled or ended up like all the others. So all we've been hearing is the same music, being played over and over again. Home beyond the horizon. An ode to the brave men and women sent to reclaim our ancestral homeland of Locus Amoenus. We may have founded an empire in these frozen wastes. We always hoped to take back what was once ours. It is a solemn reminder that though we must suffer great hardship, better days will surely come. Despite everything, I believe that Emperor Varus yet lives, and that he speaks to us through our radios. It was a cunning strategy faking his murder. He must have foreseen this catastrophe and chosen to conceal himself, that he may one day make his triumphant return. Yes, I'm sure of it. Emperor Varus would not be defeated so easily. This wouldn't be a like son, like father situation, would it? Is there a possibility an Eorzea is involved? It's funny after everything that it's easier to accept that someone might have come back from the dead than just than to disbelieve it. Licinia? What's that? Something to drink. It should help warm you up. So this is what you gave the others. Thank you. I'll save it for later. Actually, I have a few things to ask you. Of course, ask away. Are you part of the group staying in Laturum? I saw Legatus Virgilia's troops heading towards the Magna Glacius a few days ago. Are they the ones you encountered? They are. I'm not sure about this Laternum place. We've called where we've set up Camp Broken Glass, but if you think that's the same place. Camp Broken Glass, you call it. And Virgilia and her men are all there now? So how did you reach the Magna Glacius? Did you cross the mountains on foot? We came by airship. Well, part of the way, anyway. Airships? But then there might be a way to... Licinia? Where is everyone? Is something the matter? I could have sworn I heard a voice. Is there anyone else here? A voice from inside, you say? You must be imagining things. Everyone's out here. Perhaps a baby Almasty has found its way into the house. It wouldn't be the first time. Without the soldiers to scare them off, wild animals have been roaming closer to the settlements. Some have been known to attack people too. Excuse me? I've just had an idea. If you and yours are strong enough to defeat the Legatus, then surely a few beasts shouldn't pose a threat. If you've a mind to continue helping us, perhaps you could head to the other side of the lake. There's a small group of tappers living there, people whose job was to extract ceruleum. They still do, from what we can tell. I've already tried asking if they would share their fuel with us, but they're not willing to give it away. They want food in exchange. Lots of food. And that's something we don't have and can't get on our own. On top of that, to even reach their den, we'd have to make our way past all those creatures. Would you be willing to go in our place? We only need enough ceruleum to last until the others are strong enough to travel to your camp. If the offer still stands, that is. And I don't expect you to give up your own supplies, but there might be another way to pay the tappers. Well, I'll see what I can do about it. Thank you so much. To reach Tapper's Den, you'll have to cross the lake. The ice is thick enough to support a person's weight, but if you'd rather not take the risk, you'll need to take the long way around. Finding the entrance can be a bit tricky too, so it's easier to just look for someone standing guard outside. However you decide to head there, please be careful. You're sure I didn't hear anyone, though? I'm not sure what else the tappers might need besides provisions, so I dare say that capable fighters like yourself can offer them other forms of compensation. Culling dangerous beasts, that sort of thing. Suppose it's maybe understandable that... It's not understandable, it's obvious they don't completely trust us. Set to cross the ice. That looks like a cave over there. Seem like wildlife could be potentially a problem. Definitely rather busy out here. There's people standing guard, so I guess I have to assume this is the place. Excuse me. Who goes there? How did you find us? I was sent from Victor Spoils. What do you mean I stand out like a sore thumb? If the purebloods over at Victor's Spoil hadn't given away our location, you'd have never found us. They're stuck-up arseholes. But they could come waltzing in here demanding ceruleum with nothing to offer in return. Looks like the boot's on the other foot now the capital's gone to shite. So they've resorted to sending you to negotiate. I know your game, sellsword. If they think we'll give in to intimidation, they've got another thing coming. That's not my... Sirs, I'd really rather... If it comes down to it... We've all been practicing it. Stop, please! Consider me intimidated! Am I dead yet? You're still alive. Really had hoped to avoid that. There you are. Alize. Just after you left, Licini asked me to go and catch up with you, in case you needed a hand. Someone must have led to something I've experienced in transporting barrels of ceruleum. I think this is the place. So this is Tapper's Den. Well then, after you. Right. Hello there. Who are you? What happened to the guards? Sorry, there was a bit of a altercation. Eorzeans and rebels here to save the people of Garlemald. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. Why the hell would you pass up this chance to put those imperial bastards to the sword? Let me guess. None of you are Garlean? You're brought here from other lands? Garabania, Yansha, Bosha, Dalmasca, to name but a few. Some dragged here against our will, others fed bollocks about a better life. All put to work extracting ceruleum. All given the esteemed title of An, placing us firmly on the bottom rung of the ladder. Yeah, but the old hierarchy means nothing in the new Garlemald, says we. About the only thing that's escaped more or less unscathed is cerulean Ingans. Still sustaining us. Even with our paymasters out of the picture. We hear you're experts in drawing up ceruleum from the bottom of the lake. How can you do that if it's frozen over? Huh, wouldn't you like to know? Trade secrets, I'm afraid. At any rate, it's not as if ceruleum is used for much these days, what with the city in ruins. We take enough to power our heaters and save the surplus for later. And though it helps stave off the cold, it does sod all about our hunger unless we can trade it away. Speaking of which, be sure to tell your contingent we've got ceruleum by the barrelful. If they're interested, we'll exchange it for whatever provisions they're willing to spare. We can certainly ask, but if you're all free to go now, why carry on living here? Free to go? Go where? Even if we managed to get back to our homelands, there'd be nothing left for us, thanks to the Empire. And the knowledge and skills we acquired working here would be practically useless outside of Garlemald. So we're staying here for the time being. As long as there's a need for ceruleum, we'll find a way to get by. Even if Garlemald as we knew it is gone for good. Gone for good. Is it really over for Garlemald? Regardless of what the Illsabard Contingent does for the people of Garlemald, the Empire itself is already a thing of the past. And for many now to be a cause for celebration, well, for others their whole way of life will have been turned upside down. After all the atrocities committed in the Empire's name, perhaps it's for the best that it is consigned to history. But what of the ordinary people? Their lives, their stories. Should they be forgotten too? I suppose there'll be plenty of time to ponder that later. For now, let's see about getting some ceruleum. So, about this ceruleum. Oh, you've come seeking ceruleum, have you? But those purebloods up at Victor's Spoil sent you. You turned to their enemies for help. They must be more desperate than I'd thought. And again, Lasinia's got her little sister to think about. A sister? But we only saw Lasinia and 3 men. It's possible she died from whatever was ailing her. If she needed treatment, I doubt there'd be any way to get it around here. So I did hear someone else. I may have refused Lasinia at first, thinking she'd come back with something to exchange, but I can't spare them a bottle's worth of ceruleum. Consider it a reward for introducing me to the rest of your contingent. Be sure to send them our way, you hear? Thank you. We'll make sure to do that. I can't for the life of me think why Lasinia would keep her sister a secret from us. But we can ask about that after we've delivered this ceruleum. Come on, let's hurry back. Right. Thanks again. And, sorry about your friends. They should be okay. Just a little bruised. I thought I remembered there being an ether current very nearby. There we go. It was one of those like vague memories that kind of like I feel there's a ether current somewhere near the entrance to Trapper's Den. The spoils. Still. Is it? It's certainly much larger than the other towers we've seen. Fires out. Alice? This isn't right. It's too quiet. I would have thought Alphino would still be treating them by the fire, but they're nowhere to be seen. I'll look inside the house while you search outside. They can't have gone far. Right. What up there? Behind it? Alphino? What happened? Is everyone okay? They asked me to help carry supplies, but when I followed them back here, they attacked me. Caught me off guard. Forced me to defend myself. I fear they fared rather worse than me. Don't fool us. We know what you're about. Vultures, that's what you are. Waiting in the wings for us to show weakness, and in you swoop. Here to help. Won't rot. All a ploy. Make us lower our guard. Let you in. Put ourselves at your mercy. Put us in chains. Steal our lands. Get your revenge. You're wrong. It's not what any of us want. Save the arguments for later. We've got bigger problems. I found empty medicine bottles in a bed that was still warm. It's true. Lasinia was hiding her sick sister inside the house. Then Where have they gone? But now there's no sign of either of them. Where are they? Where did they go? Away from you and yours. If you think I'll tell you, you're a fool. I never give up my people. We're trying to help them, you idiot! Her sister's ill. The empty bottles prove it. So the medicine ran out, or she put it in her pockets to make it easier to carry. To avoid the sound of clinking glass. But there are beasts everywhere. How could you let them go alone? To protect them from you. You invade our homeland, tainted with the same sorcery used to slay our countrymen. The Garlean should sooner die than suffer the insult. Better for them to flee, keep their purity intact, than be corrupted by your vile magics. We were waiting for a chance to freedom, since the moment you arrived. This is getting us nowhere. I cannot say how Licinia and her sister will react when we find them, but find them we must. But go on without me, both of you. I first need to tend to my injuries. And theirs. I will join you in the search after. Alright. Be careful. We'll do our best to find them quickly. There's only one path out of here, so that's where we'll start. Right. Hopefully before anything happens. I'm sure Elfin will be okay. He'll be on his guard now. Good for me. Don't talk about cookies, Mooney. You're gonna make me hungry. Why do I have it? I've run out of snacks at the moment. 2 sets of fresh footprints. Young woman, judging by the sizes. This is definitely them. Come on. She says young woman, but I'm also comparing Alizé's footprint to the ones beside it. What type of cookie are they? Just step up from the crisps. Oh yeah. Oh, I suppose we still have, I think there's still crisps downstairs I could maybe grab once the house is emptied out. A lot of those Salmasties around. More footprints. The trail stops at the frozen lake. Perhaps they chose this route so as not to leave footprints. I can't think of any other reason. Look at this place. I do not like the sound that these things make. It's crawling with beasts. And I can only imagine how hard it must be for her alien sister to cross the ice. We could really do with Alphino's help, but we can't afford to wait for him. Let's split up and look for clues. Was hiding. There's a building there. Some kind of shelter. Is that? Maybe you're kind of over crisps last there. Yeah. Oh, see, I kind of like crisps because I like crunching on things. I don't necessarily really crave the flavor of crisps. I like crunching on things. It's the same reason I buy packets of cream crackers and just eat cream crackers plain. Just a bottle. Doesn't smell like medicine. Stick with the original pen knife. If I was hiding somewhere, I'd hide by the building. You like crunchy food? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Like, I don't like something just because it's crunchy. I just kind of... It's a form of stimulation for me. No sign of... Wait, that's... blood. It hasn't frozen yet, so it's recent. This is not good. Please be open. No. Licinia? You okay? Sorry.
Blood trail. We found one. They were attacked.
Sorry. Wasn't quick enough.
No.
No.
Why wouldn't they?
Safer to brave the wilds than trust in our magic. We should have... I should have... We can't leave them like this. We have to take them home.
Right.
What if we're only making it worse?
Maybe we don't belong here, but neither do they. Not out here in the wind and the cold.
It's our fault.
I heard the story about Varus's voice from beyond the grave. Of course, I didn't believe it, but Licinia and her sister did. Perhaps there is something to the tale after all.
It won't be the first time a member of the Garlean royal family has come back from the dead.
I want to understand. So I'm going to borrow this for a while, if that's all right. You had every reason not to trust us. We came as trespassers, invaders. But I pray that in time, we will be more than that to you. That we will find a way to help your loved ones. And see that no more children are left to freeze alone in the snow.
Must have been something we could have done. But what? Should we have never come here? Would they still be alive if we had? Let's see. If only we'd had a chance to talk things over, but it's too late now. Too late by far. We've already caused enough harm here. Let us return to the camp before we cause any more. As for those inside the house, we should send someone to take care of them. Someone who isn't us. All we can do for now is make our report to Lucia, and do everything in our power to prevent further tragedy. So let us linger here no more. Come. I think part of the reason the Guardians are always used because don't want to ask for help, would rather do things on you. Or do you have that suspicion when someone offers to help that they're doing it for an ulterior motive? Should be more we could have done. Holding over. Yeah. You shouldn't be expecting... If you want to say you're helping someone, you can't be expecting compensation for it. Is it inside the building? I hear it. I hear the current. Where's the staircase up into this place? Where is this? Oh, did I? There. I was overcomplicating it. Looked around the entire building. The other ones, yeah, I'm gonna ignore that one for now. I hope we'll be able to help the others there. We just made things worse now to Cinia and her sister. There's another one. Lucia? Eorzea and Alphino tell me they have finished their preliminary search for survivors, but refrain from saying much more than that. Clearly they are reluctant to provide details. Might I ask for your account? Right. That's... We found some...
Thank you for your report. We shall inform the troops of these developments, and instruct them to proceed with the utmost caution should they encounter any survivors.
Allow me to go and speak with the ones at the victor's spoils. They may be more willing to listen to a fellow Garlean and accept our offer of assistance.
I pray you are right. And though I am loath to burden you any further, should there be an appropriate occasion to speak of Licinia and her sister, please do so.
I am sorry to have put you through this.
My distress is nothing compared to their suffering. So tell me, what else have we learned?
As you may have already heard, we have succeeded in curing the members of the Populares, Maxima identified. They have provided us with some intriguing insights into the current state of Garlemald.
I might pick that up. I can't tell. I wasn't looking at it, but that was louder than I thought it was going to be.
The assassination of Emperor Varus was the catalyst for the civil war. Nerva declared his claim to the throne, and his opponents refused to recognize it. Fighting broke out in the capital, where Nerva's 3rd Legion clashed with the 1st, who remained loyal to Varus even after his death.
Of course, even Imperial warmongers would balk at the idea of turning their shining city into a battleground. Like burning down the wood to spite the wasps. Neither side would be so mad.
So, what happened?
Unless something or someone inflamed their animosity to such an extent that they could not help but act against their better judgment.
It brings to mind events at the Gimlet Dark, does it not? The Emperor's sudden withdrawal from the front lines, specifically. Nerva and his father, Titus, Varus's then political rival, took advantage of rumors that Crown Prince Zenos had been possessed by a demon.
Right.
Elidibus, what better way to disparage your enemies than with the truth, or a close enough approximation?
Indeed. But before their accusations could be substantiated, many of Titus's followers were silenced. While some were merely stripped of their status, others died under curious circumstances. One after another, suddenly and suspiciously.
Again, Elidibus. Like as not, he had a hand in it. No evidence was found to implicate Varus, certainly. Nevertheless, Titus, Nerva, and the 3rd Legion would have judged it a brazen attempt by the Emperor to rid himself of his political enemies.
Right.
And then, in the midst of this growing turmoil, Varus Sosgalvis is murdered. And Garlemald's own prodigal son, Gaius van Belsar, is named the murderer. Shortly thereafter, Nerva claims the right of succession, and in response, the 1st Legion claims the assassination was part of a coup d'etat orchestrated by Titus and Nerva.
Certainly sounds like...
So no one is at fault, and everyone else is to blame.
Certainly the makings of a civil
I should
war.
add that both parties received substantial financial backing, presumably to provide them with the means and encouragement to pursue a swift victory. And that these contributions came from the self-same benefactor.
Both sides were...
I'd heard House Brutus had been filling the 3rd Legion's coffers, but the 1st as well.
It would seem so. Though the Populares determined that the 1st Legion received funds from a variety of organizations, all had connections to House Brutus.
So Fandaniel, in the guise of Asahi, was playing both sides against each other the entire time.
The information we gained from my friends does not end there. One night, shortly after fighting broke out, the capital was shaken by an immense tremor. From that point onward, they have no memories, no recollection of any events, including our clash on the Magna Glaciers. But when asked about the Imperial Palace and its bizarre transformation, they somehow recall Emperor Varys giving them orders in their dreams.
That's...
May the Tower of Babel stand as testament to the glory of Garlemald.
Tower of Babel?
This sounds awfully familiar.
We have something to show you all.
Varys spoke to them through this radio. Perhaps it was a recording, but if not, that would be inexplicable.
We are of one mind, then.
Am I
The ether
missing
that
something?
permeates the ore used in this device is almost identical to that of the talismans.
Wait.
I see it. While it is likely more by coincidence than design, these devices might also ward against a primal's influence.
Wait.
A picture is beginning to form. If the tremor felt throughout Garlemald was a wave of ether emitted by a primal,
Then
while those within range would have been tempered, those huddled around a radio desperate for news concerning the Civil War would have been spared.
No wonder Licinia kept it close.
My friends, I must speak with you.
Serena?
A young man was caught trying to steal our supplies. He is a soldier of the Iron Men, we think, but one who has not been made thrall.
He's not
Thankfully, Magni restrained him before blood was spilled. The stranger is outside, if you wish to ask him questions.
I think we do.
Indeed.
Who do we have here?
Garleans? Traitors to your homeland! Have you no shame?
I suppose we shouldn't be too surprised at that reaction.
I am Lucia Junius, a Temple Knight of Ishgard. And you are?
Iulus Pier Norbanus. And that's all you invaders will get from me.
We are not here to invade Garlemald. Far from it. Like you, our allies in Eorzea and the Far East fight in defense of their lives and their loved ones even as we speak. But it is the people of Garlemald who have suffered most. This we know. And that is why we have come to offer you our aid, that we may unite against our common foe. Whether you believe me or not, those are the facts. Now, answer me this. Why would a proud soldier of the Empire be reduced to stealing? The situation must be dire indeed for you to go to such lengths. If it is supplies you seek, we would gladly share ours, or turn a blind eye while you leave with your spoils.
I will not negotiate. My commander will determine how to deal with you and yours.
His commander? That means... That probably means there's a group of them still on temple, right?
If you wish to treat with him, I will take you, but no more than 3.
I don't much like the sound of that. But if we do accept his proposal, I suggest the 2 of us and...
Please allow me and Alize to act as envoys.
May I ask why?
We have seen with our own eyes the hardships the Garleans face. How their futures and lives hang in the balance.
It's not the warmest invitation, but it's an opportunity to prove our intentions true. Maybe not a chance to make things right, but a chance to Make them better.
Let's see. If you're both going, I'm going with you.
I can see that persuading you otherwise is a lost cause, but you will proceed with the utmost care.
Of course. Euless.
Couple of children and what? A sellsword? Is this an insult?
Not in the least. You will find that they are more than qualified to speak on our behalf.
There are many dangers on the road ahead. I will need that back.
Yeah. You will be received as invited guests. So I urge you to observe proper social etiquette and conduct yourselves accordingly. Your safe return takes precedence above all else. Remember this. Tancred, in particular, will be worried sick if you're gone too long. May the Fury watch over and keep you. Euless, was it? Are you and the children ready? I will explain the route once we are outside your camp. If anyone attempts to follow us, we will judge it an act of hostility. We will not hesitate to take appropriate measures. I would expect nothing less. You have our full cooperation. Yes, we're off. Where to? Alright, this is far enough. Listen carefully. We head over that hill, then follow the road until we reach Liminal Station 4. Children in the lead. I want you where I can see you. We do have names, you know. I'm Alize and he's Alphino. And last but not least, there's Sorin. Sorin. Where have I heard that before? No matter. Alphino and Alize will watch the road ahead while we bring up the rear. I wasn't lying about there being many dangers, so you're to run, not saunter, run towards the station. If you even think about going for your weapon, the deal's off. Should any creatures bar the way, we go around them. Right. Ready to make a dash for the station? Ready. Does drawing your weapon fail? The instance? This must be the route he mentioned. If you follow this, it should lead to the station. I think that must be the building I passed on the way here. Not the easiest surface to run on. Better not draw attention. That's the station, I presume. I like how close we're getting to that one. Is this the place? This is it. The first stop, that is. Good. Looks like your friends knew better than to follow us. Are these your headquarters? No. We're stopping here so I can check for pursuers. Since it appears you've kept to your side of the bargain, we can carry on. Well, north of the station is Regio Demorum, one of the main residential areas. Or at least it was. The afflicted roam the streets in packs. They'll tear us to shreds if given a chance. Keep close. No wandering off. Understood? Of course. From here, we'll be heading northeast, keeping to the left of the railway. While the route itself is straightforward, getting past the hordes unseen is anything but. Keep your weapons at the ready. They would attack their own countrymen. Aye, they spared our own but slaughtered the rest without hesitation. They will try to avoid detection. The chances of sneaking by completely unnoticed are slim at best. I will lead the way, but in the event we are seen, you're to fight them off. Those two will follow us, provided they can refrain from drawing their weapons. While I doubt they would be foolish enough to stab their guide in the back, I'll not take that chance. With that said, let us proceed. Right. So I'm on guard duty. Works for me. I suppose that means I'm responsible for... You know what? No, you don't. You can't force cancel Enshrouded. Huh. That's interesting. I see why your comrades chose you. Eulus, our contingent has a cure for the afflicted, or a tempered as we call them. Your people would need to be taken into custody that we may administer the treatment, but they would eventually regain their sanity. Is that so? For all I know, your treatment would simply force them to forsake one master for another. As far as I and my legion are concerned, they are no longer our people. They're beyond saving. Those who fought differently and tried to reason with them were butchered for their bleeding hearts. Come, we have to keep moving. It does seem that way. More of them. You get down, no Alizé. Ow. A Guardian restoration would be something nice to see. Looks like we're not being followed. We'll continue onward. I know you didn't help with the Ishgard one, but yeah, I mean, I didn't help with the Ishgard one, but I've done the story for it, and it's kind of nice to get that little bit of, or even maybe something similar to the like Doman Enclave. There are more. Is everyone all right? I meant what I said. These people deserve only death. I stayed my hand before only out of a desire to remain undiscovered. And that is still the higher priority. We should continue to avoid any unnecessary confrontations. Keep following the railway. I'd rather have Sorin comment on that Julius killed them, whereas Sorin... But no, I think... when you think about it, even knocking people unconscious and then just leaving them in this kind of environment, you're murdering them. Eventually I'll level my crafting classes. Yeah. Those are... even further. Later stage timbering. Look at what they have become. Would you still stand there and claim that they can be cured? Those exposed to a vast quantity of a primal ether may suffer severe corruption. Even with treatment, such victims are beyond salvation. And you admit it. How do you have seen these monstrosities for yourself? Perhaps you'll think twice before speaking of a cure. I'll just let him... forsake all of his... countrymen, right? Some are beyond saving, but there's bound to be more who can be saved, right? Garlemald itself. We're almost there. You've kept your side of the agreement, so I will keep mine. This way. The closer I get, the more uncomfortable I feel. Where's Alphino and Alzey? This is Tertium, one of Garlemald's largest stations. It now serves as our headquarters. I've already sent the twins ahead. I'll be with you soon, so wait for me at the bottom of the stairs. Right. A station. Just for trains? This is... compared to the ones in Fandaniel, it's huge. Excuse, is he alright? Sorry. Be careful about speaking to anyone here. Don't do any more harm. This is... this is their headquarters? It's plain to see why they chose this as their base of operations. They could have done a lot worse. Even so, I imagine it's not the easiest place to live. Indeed. If Euless was willing to make the perilous journey to Camp Brokenglass in search of food, their own supplies must be all but exhausted. They may be shielded from the wind and snow, but it's still bitterly cold. Much like Victor's spoils, it must be a constant struggle to keep their people warm. Lower your voices. While you may be here as my guests, the others will not take kindly to your presence. My commander is on the locomotive, over there. Right. Just keep our heads down and talk. Yes. That music again. Right, but maybe I should be careful about using it right now.
These are their chosen representatives.
Very well. Let us hear what they have to say.
Yes, sir. I present to you our commander, Lord Quintus Van Kina, Legatus of the First Legion.
Legatus of the First Legion?
The First? I had no idea you had survived.
And untempered.
We lost our emperor, our city, more than half our troops. For my wounds, I may never take the field again. But we survived, aye. In a manner much to your liking, I dare say.
We have no intention of adding to your misfortunes, nor do we bear you any ill will.
Spare me. Though you children may speak in earnest, overtures of peace ever ring hollow in my ears. So long as man stands to profit from his neighbor's suffering, war is inevitable. Driven from our ancestral homeland into this blasted waste. Yet still you yearned to rob us of our paltry scraps. 'Twas only with Magitech that you learned to keep your distance. Though we knew it was only a matter of time before you regrouped and returned. Conquest and Empire were our only defenses. Emperors Solus and Varys understood this, and through their campaigns saw us grow and prosper. Much blood has been spilled in Garlemald's name, aye. But if it is a choice between yours and mine, then it is hardly a choice at all.
So it's just clicked with me a little bit that while Ameliance has kind of concluded that okay, you know what, Alize and Alphino have grown up enough that I don't need to make them matching outfits. It just clicked with me that Tataru didn't get that memo.
I do not deny that a great many conflicts throughout history were driven by the desire or necessity to gain by another's loss. That is not why we are here. Nor have we come to petition your aid in the war with the Telephoroi, grave though that threat may be. Our purpose is simply this. We wish to help you. Let us help you. If there is aught that can be done to ease your plight, we would be glad to do it.
Perhaps you would. But regardless of the ideals you espouse, your leaders would not send an army into Garlemald if they did not stand to benefit. If we accept their aid, they will expect their efforts to be rewarded once the Telephoroi are no longer a threat. And after compensation and concessions, the great empire would be brought to heel. Her enemies rejoice at her downfall. Our third eye, a mark of shame.
We won't stand idly by and let your people be humiliated. And we're not alone in that. We only want to make a difference. To make this world of ours better. Surely you can understand that. What I'm trying to say is, there are so many people who just don't care about making you suffer. And maybe that's almost insulting after all the suffering you feel the world has subjected your people to, but believe it or not, that's the truth. And now we're here, and all we're asking is for you to tell us what you want, what you hope for.
So much blood has been shed, so much lost. All because of this endless war. Who wouldn't want to end it? Can we not work together to face our problems as one?
We really are just here to help.
Answer me this, young peacemakers. If a world without conflict is your desire, why reject the unity and prosperity of Garlemald? Is it because we do not share your faith? That we do not share your heritage? That our ideals and virtues differ? That we cherish and hold in the highest that which you do not? Disparity is the root of discord, and peace built on compromise is flawed and fleeting. Happiness for one and all is a dream, and the reality is that to the victor go the spoils. That is why we Garleans will never submit nor surrender. For freedom and for pride, we will remain true to ourselves until the bitter end. That is my hope. It seems there is nothing more to say on the matter.
Dad.
You will remain here while I decide what is to be done with you. Do not be alarmed. No harm will come to you if you cooperate.
We have much choice, do we?
We will not resist. However, as your guests, I ask that we be allowed to speak with the other members of your group.
As you wish. I had no intention of locking you up, as by dawn you would be frozen stiff and you're no good to me dead. You are free to move about the encampment, but there is one condition. Collar them.
Or that... What are you... Who's her?
What are these?
Incentive. You'll be watched at all times. Stray too far or act suspiciously, and we will administer a rather painful shock. Stop. Keep away from that one.
Why?
The champion of Eorzea is not so easily cowed.
He knows who I am.
Even if he allowed himself to be collared, the shock would be no more than an itch. No. If he refuses to obey, we will activate the twins' restraints instead.
You... Right.
You needn't worry about us.
Do I not?
We'll forget we're even wearing them soon enough.
Even now, you still... Why go to such lengths? What is it all for?
Ooh. Which of these is the Sorin response? I feel the top one, just because that's kind of like something that Sorin's had recent experience with, to some extent, with Emmett Silk and Elidibus. And as opposed to some extent with Ardbert and Warriors of Darkness. But also, I don't know if I want to call him the may one day see reason kind of is... That also kind of sounds like it might be a slightly more aggressive response, because you're kind of telling them kind of, you're not acting reasonably. I feel this is kind of a more Sorin response, but I also don't imagine Sorin being quite that poetic. I believe our best chance at survival is... Oh, that's a Oshfunk. Good at remembering specific lines.
You are a curious one. A far cry from the merciless barbarian others paint you to be.
Is merciless barbarian? Is that really how I seem from the other side?
You will be their warden. Take them away.
Yes, sir.
Have to be careful. Don't let anything happen to the twins. As per Lord Quintus's instructions, I am to supervise you during your time here in Tertium. Before you ask, no, I don't have a key or any other means to remove your collars. Nor would I tell you if I did. And if you try anything, you'll soon wish you hadn't. So, do you truly intend to speak with the others, or is that merely a ruse? We're in no hurry to disobey Lord Quintus, if that's what you mean. Or perhaps you doubt the wisdom of his decision. Do as you will, but remember, I'll be watching. If I catch wind of you doing anything untoward, trying to trick our people into turning their coats and the like, those shock collars will be the least of your worries. Understood? Though we're somewhat compromised, to put it lightly, let's not waste this opportunity. I suggest splitting up and learning what we can of their situation. And above all else, don't use magics of any sort. You, on the other hand, may go wheresoever you wish. Even outside the camp. I know full well I couldn't stop you if I tried. But do not forget, if you do anything to endanger us or our interests, Alphino and Alizé will pay the price. It's... threatening me is responsive. Excuse me, ma'am. It's you, Sorin Sherwood. I served under Lord Gaius in the 14th Legion. He was there on the night the Praetorium fell. You were at the Praetorium? You and your adventurers. You killed them. My comrades, my friends. Swept them aside in their dozens as though they were nothing to you. Maybe I am too. Just another faceless enemy to be cut down. It won't be long until our countrymen return. Until you get what you deserve. Mark my words. The Imperials I followed. Killed. As well. When did I start? It seemed it was just more enemies. Sir? Cold. Use magic. Excuse me, sir. I know who you are. So-called champion of Eorzea. Come to gloat, have you? Wipe that smirk off your face. By the blood of our fallen compatriots, I swear I'll... Damn. Citrus. All the times. The worst of the lot within striking distance, and I can't even muster the strength. If it weren't for the fur to bleed in us, we'd be the end of you. Virgilia's treachery nearly cost Lord Quintus's life. We made our escape, took shelter in a mansion, tended to the wounded as we prepared to strike back, and then... night fell and we gathered around the radio. Then a roar. A terrible roar. The capital was in chaos, but we were spared. If you can call this a mercy. Mind intact, but body broken. A soldier in name alone. I'd cut you down where you stand if I could. Murderer. Everyone's talk of me as hero, as champion, make me forget. I've still been taking lives all this time. Someone again. This is why the soldiers here have escaped. How many more are out there? I think I remember when I got... When I got to this point in my main character, because I only really got into Endwalker after I'd already started streaming Sorin. And I remember getting to this point and kind of knowing immediately kind of Sorin is gonna... it's gonna hurt once he arrives in Garlemald. Sir? You came for Euless, didn't you? Well, whatever business brought you here, you'd best keep your hands off that Aephorite. It's deactivated, but I'd rather you didn't mess about with it. There are others throughout the city, built by Garleans. 4 Garleans. Could teleport all over in the blink of an eye, provided there was a terminal nearby. These days, however, we use the Aephorite's power to keep this place lit. Though that comes at the cost of its normal function. Right. It's not a bad idea, using it as a power source. I don't know if I can talk to this. Alphino? Did you learn anything of note? Learning my own reputation here. Things certainly don't seem good. And your findings are consistent with my own. Their plight is desperate indeed. The sick and injured are at the greatest risk. Without warmth and proper nutrition, I fear they will soon perish. I realize there is precious little we can do for them at present, but I cannot bear to see them suffer. Please, will you help me tend to them? Will they... Am I allowed? Alize? So cold. Probably hasn't had a proper meal in days. If only we'd brought some food with us. Perhaps I could use a little magic. I mustn't. God, this is so frustrating. Sir? Are you okay? Can I help? Is there anything I can do? Who's there? My eyes, I can't see all that well. Thank you. The numbness has subsided a little. I know. I won't last much longer. You should look to the others who can still fight. Give them my ration. If me going hungry means someone else lives to see another day, so be it. At least I can still serve in that way. No. So those you met fare no better. I was afraid you'd say that. I know we were warned against meddling in their affairs, but we can't leave them like this. Perhaps we might gain permission to have the contingent deliver supplies. Quintus may have made his feelings on the matter quite clear, but even he must recognize they are not in a position to refuse help. Maybe Euless could persuade him. Though we'd need to persuade Euless first. Maybe I can try. There needs to be something we can do to help. Well, seen enough. Euless, the people here have barely enough food and fuel to survive. Have you and the other soldiers been able to procure any more supplies? We've been scavenging provisions from the nearby houses, as most families kept. Some stored away in the event they were snowed in. Still, going out and getting it is dangerous work. We've a lot of mouths to feed. Fuel is the greater concern, though. We had some ceruleum set aside, until it was stolen. We haven't identified the culprit. Could have been other refugees, one of the afflicted for all we know. Either way, we're down to the last dregs. About the heating they need, those in poor health are only going to get worse instead of better. If it's ceruleum you need, our contingent has secured a ready supply. We can have some sent over. We will not accept your charity. If we can hold on a little longer, the situation is sure to change. Aye. Everything will change. I wonder if the man I spoke to said something about people returning. Do you have something already in motion? Heard something of it, have you? Well, from what I've seen, there's little you could do to interfere, so no harm in telling you. One of our scouts spotted a hooded man issuing instructions to the inflicted, or, in the bastard's words, loyal servants of the Telephoroi. Then he made his way inside the Imperial Palace, or what stands in its place. We'd identified the seat of the enemy's power, we realized. Lord Quintus dispatched a messenger to the 10th Legion saying as much, and instructing them to join forces with the provincial legions, to prepare for a combined assault on Telephoroi. Once our allies arrive, your contingent will be sent running for the hills. Then, we shall reclaim the capital by our own hand. And how do you intend to survive in the meantime? At this rate, many of your countrymen will perish long before reinforcements reach Garlemald. They need help now. Say the word and we'll bring you ceruleum. I will speak with Lord Quintus. That's progress, right? So, did he agree to it? No. He will not place Garlemald in the debt of our enemies. I have, however, been ordered to search for ceruleum outside. As you're under my watch, you will come with me. Right. Very well. After all, many hands make light work. You lot are more trouble than you're worth. Once we are outside, you'll follow my instructions to the letter. We depart shortly. Shouldn't have taken you that long to finally write your weekly schedule. So what's the plan for this evening, Winnie? Oh, it is 10 o'clock, so I think I'm probably going to finish up here. You really want to play a hand time? So, ooh. Yep, I'll definitely have to make sure I'm up and about for that. So yeah, that's kind of solidified it that I probably want to finish up now. I need to get some sleep in tonight. But I feel we made decent progress. I feel reaching Tersham's kind of the halfway point in Garlemald. Am I correct? So yeah, the quest's level 8. The quests are up to level 83. So I believe we're on track. Well, I'm playing. Ooh. I mean, actually, I've been sleeping fairly good recently. I think primarily because I've kind of gotten into a habit of I'm getting my 8 hours of sleep, but I'm just getting them in 2 blocks. So I kind of have 2 4-hour sleeps. 2 4-hour sleeps throughout the day. Rather than 1 8-hour. But yeah, I think we made decent progress today. Made it to Garlemald. Made it to Tertium. Sorin getting... Oh, that little bit of a reality check. What was that? Okay, so the radio music isn't background music, so it's not going to play. I normally just rely on the Final Fantasy music when I do my outro. But I'm looking forward to some more progress, I think, because I think next time, if I remember how the story in Garlemald progresses, I'm looking quite forward to seeing. I think next stream is going to have the instance that I really enjoyed. We'll probably get to the next dungeon next stream. I feel I'm on track to get to the next dungeon. But yeah, tomorrow is going to be Persona 3 Reload, and that instance. The instance I really enjoyed. But yeah, tomorrow's going to be Persona 3 Reload, and probably the final. That's probably going to be the final Persona 3 Reload stream. Which means then Thursday and Friday is just going to be just focusing on more Endwalker. But with all that said, yeah, it's not so bad when you know the enemy telegraphs, yeah. So I really enjoyed that instance, and I'm looking forward to getting to see it again. Yeah, with all that said, as usual, my schedule is up on YouTube. And, yep. That's going to be me for tonight. So, as always, thank you so much for coming along. I really hope you enjoyed. And until the next time I see you, have a good evening, have a good night, and goodbye.